Very good afternoon and welcome for the final time to the Dome Theatre Disneyland for the finale of the 2011 World Weightlifting Championships. I'm David Goldstrom, and alongside me from Iron Mind it's Randy Strawson, and what we have ahead is the Super Heavyweight Championship of the World. Over 105 kilos and 11 men looking for the title from Iran, Ukraine, Korea, Armenia, Nauru, and Egypt, and Hungary and Russia. The talent is here. There are absentees, and we'll get to those in a moment. But the atmosphere is electric. The house is full. The doors are closed, and the big men are ready. Good afternoon, Randy.
Good afternoon, David. Yeah, here we are. The strongest man in the world. That's the claim. The winner can leave with. This battle is for title of King of the Jungle.
Absolutely. And it really is a bit like a rumble in the jungle here. And everybody looking forward to this one to bring to an end what has been a very successful week of weightlifting here in Disneyland, about 25 kilometers outside Paris. This, of course, the competition that also can qualify you for the Olympic Games. Here are the contenders from Iran, and you can see there Armenia, who deserve a change of fortune, Korea, and the world record, of course, held by the great Hossein Rezazadeh, and he is hoping for a 1-2 gold and silver here from his two boys. Iranian flags, Armenian flags, Russian flags amongst the entire crowd. So, before we get into the competition proper, a chance very shortly to meet the contenders. And here they are, Bedad Salimki from Iran, 450 kilos. This man, the Asian champion and the Asian Games champion from last year. He's also the world champion. Representing the Ukraine, 28-year-old Oleg Proshek, third in this year's Summer Universiade over in Shenzhen in China. Runner-up in the Asian Games this year, Yong Sang-hwen of Korea. Experienced at 30, the Asian Games runner-up. And now Rubin Alex Yun from Armenia, 21 years of age, Europe's #2, got the silver medal in Kazan last April. All the way from the South Pacific, Ite Detenamo from Nauru, the little island north of Australia, the silver medalist in the Commonwealth Games last season in Delhi. And to another world champion, the man who won on his own home stage in Goyang in 2009, An Yong Kwon. And next, the second of the two Iranians, Sajjad Anushiravani, third in the Asian Games last year. From Egypt, it's Abdel Mohammed. Just missed out on the medals when finishing fourth in Goyang in 2009. Ukraine have two contenders. Here's the second one, the European champion of 2 years ago, Igor Shimechko, a familiar face amongst the super heavyweights. Improving is the Hungarian Peter Nash, runner-up in the Universiade in Shenzhen. And to complete the field, the Russian Chingits Mogushkov from Grozny, the capital of Chechnya. A man who, in the Nationals, lifted 440 kilos. So it's party time, but for the lifters backstage, it's the moment of truth. 30 seconds to go, and a real expectation around here. As you see there, the winners of this title in the past. One of the big absentees, Matthias Steiner, the Olympic champion, ruled out with a knee injury which required surgery. He's on the comeback trail, but we won't know for 3 months or so whether he'll be able to defend in London. That said, in the B group today, his teammate Almir Velajic lifted fantastically. 411 kilos, a 183, a 228 for 411. And he has given Germany real hope by helping them with points to take, I believe, Randy, 3 places in the men's team to the London Games. sit back and enjoy with Randy Strossen and myself. There is a real atmosphere here, Randy.
Yeah, the big men always pack the house. We've had packed house all week, but this is just added to it. A lot of excitement. We're going to see some big numbers in the hope of a world record in the snatch.
So here we go with Ite Detanamo from Nauru. An improving lifter. As I said, he was the runner-up in the Commonwealth Games with 179 kilos. He's opening up here on 175, so this should be well within his compass. And this, again, is another competition where getting 6 out of 6 could really earn you not just good qualifying points, but even a medal.
Well, all he's got to do here is pull the bar up, get his body under, do that in less than a second, maintain his balance, don't bend the arms along the way, and he'll get 3 white lights. He does everything, and he gets his reward.
And of course, because this is the super heavyweights, over 105 kilos, of course, there's a variety of weights. And Detanamo weighed in at 149, just under 150 kilos. That's the easiest way to think about it. But the big boy, the really big boy, is Chingish Mogushkov of Russia, 184 kilos.
So he could possibly challenge Mark Henry's record of, I think, being the heaviest athlete ever to compete in the Olympics. Mark Henry's super heavyweight in Atlanta was almost 185, 184.9. So a few more Big Macs, you know, and that record could go.
The reason Randy's mentioned that is because the Big M is right next door. This is Oleg Proshak. Nicely done, athletic.
Yeah.
And fluent, and you can see really very little movement with the feet.
Right, and here's an example of a lifter, does look athletic. He doesn't even quite weigh 125 kilos. It reminds me a little bit, you know, the sort of physique that Evgeny Chigashev would have had compared to these guys who are behemoths.
Yes, and I mentioned Mattias Steiner. We're the poorer for not having Chigashev here, are we?
Yeah.
As I said, and you often remind me, I always regard him as the moral victor of the Olympics because of the differential between him and Steiner in body weight.
Yeah, David versus Goliath.
Now,
Goliath.
The Armenians have not had good fortunes here, Randy, so fingers crossed that Rubin Alex Yun, who is a pretty good lifter, I mean, he's 21 years of age, second in Europe this time, can have a really good competition. Still in junior ranks, this man.
Nice. You know, this is an important look because we haven't seen him, or at least I haven't seen him since Minsk, right?
Absolutely.
When he made a big splash, then we didn't see him disappear and wondered what happened to him. I saw him in the training hall a few times. I was amazed at how fast he is for a guy who looks like a marshmallow, you know? Right? Isn't he softling? But this guy's quick. Nice lift. Maybe he can reverse those fortunes for the Armenian team.
Yeah, good point, because that silver medal he got in the Europeans, of course, now 2 seasons ago. And Detanamo coming out for 180. So 5 kilo increase here. And of course, just to remind you, as I mentioned right in the introduction there, Almir Velagic for Germany. What a sterling job he did. Lifted 183 in the B group. 6 out of 6 lifts, and Frank Mantek must be absolutely delighted with him. Whole of the German team actually owe him dinners and drinks for probably many months.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they were dealt a cruel hand. First Mattias, and then Jürgen Spiess, you know, hip injury or thigh injury almost on the coattails of Matthias Steiner, and he was out too. So, I mean, they came in without their big guns. Okay, watch the squeeze it off the floor. Snap overhead. Comes back down. No lift. And here's the big man.
Yeah, and Well, size doesn't necessarily mean everything, but as you often say, a good one, good big one usually beats a good little one.
Yeah, that's the bar fight adage, right? Hey, he took color cues from Lydia, right? He's matching, right? Look at this. You know, he's not going for some bland color. Those wraps.
Now, Detanamo's got to come out and follow himself here because nobody else wants 180. Yong of Korea is due to come in at 183. Likewise, his teammate at the same level. The key, I think, to how this might progress is all about the Iranians, because Bedad Salimi, well, he has posted 201. And talking to our Iranian colleagues here, we know that he has surpassed the world record in training in the past month in Tehran.
Right, maybe about 5 weeks ago, he did a blistering 217, 256, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely right, so for 473, which is a kilo over the world.
Right, and the snatch would have been over the world record too, but unofficial, let's emphasize that.
And of course, because it's super heavyweight, body weight in that sense isn't a factor.
Right.
So if he did it, he did it.
Yeah, but unofficially.
Yes, but it's not like somebody who was overweight coming down to get within their body weight category. 20 seconds for the man who's traveled one of the longest journeys, and he's put it to rights. So 180 kilos.
So he had quite an audience in the training hall a few days ago when he snatched 200 and cleaned, but then missed the jerk on 250. But anyway, back to the man lifting. This is important.
It's a personal best, Randy.
Yeah, and had a miss and came back, right? So good effort.
Now, the first of the two Koreans, this is Yong Sang-hwen, Asian Games runner-up last season, when he weighed in at about 157 kilos, and he's about the same weight today. Fourth a year ago in the World Championships in Antalya. Missed the bronze by 13 kilos. Sounds a lot, but in this class, anything can happen. I mean, we missed out on having Chang Mi-rang here in the women's super heavyweights, but the Koreans have actually got quite a good squad, haven't they?
Oh, they do, year after year.
I'd be quietly positive about their medal chances. I don't mean they're necessarily going to rack up a lot of golds in London, but I can see them being on the podium in a number of classes. I can see silvers and bronzes coming their way. Now, his teammate, An Yong-kwon. Now, An Yong is the lighter of the two, in fact 17 kilos lighter, so he's coming out for 183. And because Almir Velagic was lighter than all these men, he still leads. Even if this man makes it, he'll only go second in the snatch. But some nice lifting by these supers to get us underway. Nice rhythm there out on the competition stage. And you just feel it bubbling up nicely here.
Right. Nice trim lifter, jumps back with the bar. Just makes a good impression out there.
Now, just looking at the other weights, the Egyptian could come in pretty soon, as well as Abdelrahman posted 185. Nash, Hungary, 186. We're in that sort of territory at the moment. $35 kilos spread across the entry totals. Might sound a lot, but for super heavyweights, actually, that's pretty tight, to be honest.
Well, we have one guy that, on paper at least, is well ahead of the crowd.
So it is the Egyptian who's coming in here now. Abdelrahman on 185. put on about 7 kilos since last year in Turkey. And he's got a good start in here. Junior world champion in 2008 in Cali, Colombia, and a bronze medal in the Junior Worlds in Bucharest in 2009, and 4th in the world last year. So we've seen actually over the week here 1 or 2 very decent and promising Egyptian performances.
Yeah, he's stuck that. He's a very solid looking lifter. He's very muscular, compact.
So Oleg Proshak coming out for the Ukraine. The other Ukrainian yet to start, that's Shemechko, who has posted 195 for his opener. So here's the lightest man of the class, but lifting well. He's now on the same mark, Randy, that he did in the Summer Universiade in China. So the next one will be a PB attempt, at least.
Little adjustment walking forward, not a problem. Good lift. Good view of the hook grip there. You can see the fingers, the other 4 fingers on top of the thumb to help lock the hand on the bar.
And Aleksanyan now for Armenia. 5 kilo increase, should be well within his compass, this. I've seen him lift 195 kilos, so 185 is, it's a sort of comeback weight, having been off the stage for a while, really. Yeah, but of course, it is only his 2nd attempt, so he could go 190.
Oh, there's that speed again. Yeah, not just off, let's emphasize injured, and that's why comeback really is the operative word. That's what he's doing here, and handling it quite nicely.
He really is lightning, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, for a guy who looks like this, if you just, you know, stood against the wall and said, is this guy fast or slow? I think most people would say slow, and they'd be flat wrong.
Candidate for Dancing with the Stars?
Maybe in Armenia.
Now, first appearance. Here is Peter Nash for Hungary. 186 for his opener. This for the lead. Nice and smooth, quite quiet, really. They say that he's really moved on this year. You know, he's turned a corner this year. This is really interesting to see by how much he's gone round the corner.
Not blisteringly quick or anything, but it's a good lift. You see the mechanics there, pulling the bar, turning the hands over, forcing the body down underneath, locking out the arms, fully extended at the top of the lift. Good view of the warm-up room where things are going to get pretty heated here pretty quickly.
Bar going to 188 now for, we think, Rubin Aleksanyan. I was wondering whether he might go for another 5 kilos, but as we said, probably prudent not to overcook it. He knows probably that if the Iranians in particular, Randy, live up to form, particularly their number one, Bedad Salimi, then he won't be fighting for medals, and it has gone to 190, which is good.
Yeah, we just saw the change submitted at the marshal's desk.
So it's going to be Abdel Rahman.
Yeah, but the change is bad, David. They pulled him out.
All right.
Or
so
they've at least passed on the 3rd attempt. Now maybe he'll be back in the clean and jerk, but he's out. He's done in the snatch.
Yeah, you were referring to Aleksanyan.
Right. Yeah.
Curious that. Now 190 for the Egyptian.
does he remind you of?
Go on, tell me.
Ramune Dukakis from Lithuania. He even looks a little bit like him. Look, he's got the theatrics. He's one step from pro wrestling.
I don't know how you can say that because he is completely understated compared to
well,
Lithuanian.
Good lifters, you know, strong looking and everything too, you know, like Ramune.
What it does tell you when he does that, though, is the feeling that he's got inside him, his well-being.
Yeah. Yeah, well-being, and that might be the operative thing with the Armenians. They might be conserving Rubin Aleksandyan.
So, Proshak coming up for his third attempt now. Well, that takes him into first place in the snatch. The lightest man of the class. Can't argue with that. 3 out of 3. Good job. And that's an excellent 190 there. Just looking at his stats, that's 5 kilos up on his previous best. So that's excellent.
Nice lift.
Well, the giant Russian. Now, I've not seen this man. Have you seen him?
No, no. I think a lot of people probably first ran into his name after we saw the results from the Russian Nationals, where he was the victor, I believe. Won. And he's huge.
Chingis Mogushkov of Russia from Grozny in Chechnya.
184 kilos and change.
192.
Oh. That's going to haunt them. Got pretty tangled up with that. Let's watch this in replay. Watch what's going to happen on the left side. Up and over.
So it'll be the Korean now, Yong Sang-gwen, to come out. Now this is a big increase, even for super heavyweights, coming up here with a 9-kilo increase. And the Russian coach is trying to wake their man up. He's got some time though, and this is Yon. Asian Games runner-up. He did have a bad spell around 2007 and 2008 in the Olympics where he didn't total. Seems to have got through that now. Very good. First place in the snatch phase. So it's all very tight at the moment. So Peter Nash coming out 192 kilos. Weighed in at 154. So again, this is for the lead by virtue of body weight over Yon, who is the heavier man, the Korean you just saw. Very nicely done. Just a little correction, a little wider with the feet this time, but actually that's a pretty good lift from Peter, and nice, confident lifting. Different style. This man who finished only 15th in the World Championships last year, only totaled up 395, and a measure of where he thinks he's heading is to 412, which would be a 17-kilo improvement. Now, sitting not more than 2 or 3 meters away from me, the great Andrei Chamerkin for Russia, but this man... Boy, struggling, he's right, no. Ran out of platform. Well, the big man often beats the little man, but the bigger man has the harder fall, and he's now right under the cosh after 2 failures. You can see there the hips are behind. He rushes forward, and he can't stay on the platform. Married, got a young son and daughter, and he's got a bit of respite now because Abdelrahman coming out for Egypt. So this by body weight at 192 would give him the lead. Put him ahead of Nash of Hungary. So that leaves him on 190, which is 5 kilos ahead of anything we've seen. Abdelrahman, who weighed in at 129 kilos, and now this really sporting audience here in the Dome Disneyland, they know they need to lift the spirits of this man to inspire him to get this. He might be advised actually to move that bar back a little on the platform to give him a little bit more front room should he need to walk forward. Right, third, yeah, 1 step forward, but this time he's done it. 192, but this is a man who in the Nationals actually snatched to 108, and unfortunately the problems that he's run into have severely limited his aspirations. This title, there's David Riggott, the head coach for the men's division of Russian weightlifting on the left there, just his man towering over him. Well, noisy, rugged, keeps his quest for an overall total alive, and we move now to the first of the 2 Iranians. This is Shahzad Anush-Iravani. Anush-Iravani, I should say. He comes from Ardabil, the same hometown as the great Hossein Razazadeh, the reigning world record holder. The other Iranian is definitely that notch ahead, but the Iranian squad genuinely hoping for a sort of 1-2. His teammate not due to come in to 201 kilos. And the other man who hasn't started, Igor Shemechko of the Ukraine, 195 for his entry into the arena. .193 would give the Iranian the lead in the snatch, but he's got to follow himself here. So his second attempt here. So pretty crucial. Still a lot of lifts to go here, so if he aspires to be up there with his teammate, he really needs to make this. Oh, it was a little awkward, but although he's rotated, He's actually got the 3 white lights and he goes into first place. So the bar going up to 184, but it's not going to stay there. Just having a look at Igor Shemechko, still on 186, sorry, 196, and Peter Nash around that area as well of Hungary. An Yong Kwon and Shemechko of the Ukraine to take his opening attempt. So Shemechko, the European silver medalist this year, total up 412, and in Minsk weighed in at about 135 kilos. Shemechko just a kilo or so heavier than that, but you can see completely different physique. Didn't get a total last year in the World Championships in Antalya, and it was in this part, the snatch phase of the competition, that he ran into trouble. Well, no worries about the starter. So that's encouraging first attempt there by him. And 196 kilos. Now, just to whet your appetite a little bit, we are at this moment 17 kilos away from the world record. Sounds a lot, but remember, these are the super heavyweights, and here's a man coming in to take a 13-kilo increase. This is An Yong Kwon. His teammate, Yun, still has one more attempt to come. The leader at the moment, Igor Shemechko, with that first attempt effort of 195. Now, because it's a kilo more, and An Yong is heavier than Shemechko, this would put him into first place, into gold medal in the snatch place. And he's caught that really well, recovered it, and he's rightly pleased with himself. 3 white lights, and he's still got another attempt to come. So 196, he actually moves up from 10th into the lead.
We stay in Korea and now call Yong Sang-Koen from Korea also.
So one Korean following the other here. And he's going for 196 as well, but he's heavier than his teammate. So if he does live this, it will put Korea 1-2 for the moment. Meticulous lock on. 30 seconds. There's the buzzer. Didn't really get under that. We'll have a look at it in a moment from the side, hopefully. Just beginning to test himself there on 196, although, to be honest, the world champion, as he was in 2009, well, I should say, no, he wasn't actually. It's his teammate, An Yong Kwon, who was the world champion. And Peter Nash now from Hungary. .196. Now he is heavier than An Yong Kwon, so this would only put him up into second place, but nonetheless very useful. This is his last attempt. He's 4th at the moment, so this to put him into a medal position after 3 out of 3. An Yong Kwon leads. Second place to Shemechko. And still Shemechko of the Ukraine. And that leaves Peter Nash at the moment in fourth place.
And he is kind enough to recognize that weight was too much. 198 kilos, third attempt.
Peter Nash, 196. It's still 4 kilos up on what he lifted in the Universiade. So second attempt for the Iranian. This is Sajad. Sajad Anush Iravani. And this would put him, of course, into the lead. Now, there are not too many now with lifts out there. Shemechko's got 2 attempts, and Salimi, the other Iranian, yet to start. So this is pretty crucial. He's in third place. This is for the lead, which would virtually guarantee him a snatch medal. With no disrespect, the number 2 Iranian. But at this moment, the number 1 Iranian, and that's better. Again, a little rotation, but no problem with that. Confidence building here. And that surpasses the kilos he lifted last year in the Asian Games. And the Anyong Kwon going to 200 kilos now, the bar. Well, a bit of confusion here, and in fact it's staying on 198 for Anyong Kwon, the 2009 world champion from Goyang. And by lighter body weights, this would put him ahead of the Iranian. He's approximately 9 kilos lighter than the Iranian. The number 1 Iranian, 168 kilos. That puts him second heaviest in the class. As it is, that leaves him in silver medal position, that failure. Sajad Anushiravani of Iran leads in the gold medal position, but Igor Shemechko now could take the silver medal away from the Korean. The bar going up to 200 kilos. So this could take Shemechko up from bronze into gold. It would push the Iranian into effectively silver medal position, and Anyong Kwon off the podium, off the snatch podium, that is. Shemechko very, very good technically. So the bar going up to 201 kilos. So Shemechko leads. He's got one more attempt to come. And waiting in the wings, about to come out now, Bedad Salimi of Iran, the reigning world champion, who last season in Antalya in Turkey picked up 208 kilos, 245 for 453. But we know from his work in Tehran over the past month, he's actually done 217, 256 for 473. But this is the correct score. He's going for the title. He's going for the kilos advantage to go take him into the second part of the competition. Competition first, records come later. Didn't go above his knees. Corrected. He's only 21, 22 years of age, and with his first attempt goes ahead of the Ukrainian. He's on a bit of a gold run, this Iranian. Really good. Look, the feet don't move. He won the junior world title in 2009, the world senior title in 2010, the Asian Games last year, the Asian Championships this year. 4 cracking competitions. Really a man who knows how to win. Now, Shemechko has put the bar to 203 kilos to try and live with him.
203 kilos.
Shemechko, a more modest start in the clean and jerk proposed, 233 to Salimi's 241. But the key thing for Shemechko now is to get this to stay as close as possible to the Iranian, who will have 2 attempts after this. He's got the silver, whatever. The other Iranian, Sajad Anushiravani, has got the bronze. Ah, what a pity. So he's got 200. Sajad of Iran has got 198. And now the bar going to 207. So Bedad Salimi has won the clean and jerk with his first attempt of 201 kilos. He now has a 1 kilo advantage over Shemechko of the Ukraine. And he's put it to 209. 209 kilos. Now, that's an 8 kilo increase, but to put it in perspective, he has lifted 208 kilos in the last year on 2 major championship occasions. And the way he's been going back at home in Tehran, well, actually his home is in the north of Iran, but training in the capital. More than half a minute. Now this is to build a cushion over his rivals for going into the clean and jerk. And there it is. Has his very own way of lifting. And enhances his advantage. He is now at 209, 9 kilos ahead of his closest pursuer, and he is actually 11 kilos ahead of his teammate. Now the bar automatically goes to 210. Have a look at this. Again, reasonably wide stance, but the feet don't move. That drives up. Tremendous power. And as predicted, an attempt on the world snatch record set by Hossein Rezazadeh back in 2003, and Hossein, the president of the Iranian Weightlifting Federation here. Hossein, who said earlier today, I don't mind the snatch record going, I don't much mind the total record going, but I want to keep my clean and jerk record of 263. Well, it only goes to enhance his advantage in the snatch, but this would be some performance. A record that stood for 8 years. He has done 3 kilos more than this back in Tehran, but that was not on a competition stage, not on a championship stage, under the lights, in front of a packed audience. A little prayer to find that strength, to combine mind and body. Oh, it's a new world record! 214 kilos. Bedad Salimi of Iran acknowledges and re-energizes from the audience. It might have been more, and there is Hossein Rezazadeh, the man from whom he has taken the record by a kilo. 8 years on, records are there to be taken, and Hossein generous in that. And the two teammates rejoice because Iran have ended the first half with gold and bronze, but Bedad Salimi has a massive advantage of 14 kilos over Igor Shemechko of the Ukraine, who takes the snatch silver medal, and he's 16 kilos ahead of his teammate Sajjad Anush Iravani, who collects the bronze. And Yong Kwong, the 2009 world champion, in 4th place at the halfway stage. And effectively, this man, with his power, his strength, and his mind, has left the rest scrapping for silver and bronze. The Iranian choir, they knew he could do it, but it's one thing to think it, is one thing to practice it, it's another thing entirely to pull it off. Iran looking for their second men's title of these championships. This is where they excel, from 85 kilos upwards, and look at that, a world record, 214 kilos. Shemechko, 14 kilos off the pace, 16 down to the second of the with the 14 kilos advantage, might have just about put this competition beyond everybody else.
Yeah, I think that's true, Dave, but I think the bigger question still remains. In my eyes, at least, we knew he could snatch. The question is, we know also, I'm sorry that he can clean, but can he jerk with the big boys? And if he falters in the 250 range, I wouldn't make it a gimme for him next year in London.
Interesting. Well, the man mountain from Russia didn't really pay off, did it? And
no.
I wonder what Mr. Shigishev's thinking watching this back home.
Well, I could have done a lot better than that, I think, what he's saying.
Well, we start again with Oleg Proshek, 215 kilos. So Oleg, one of 2 Ukrainians involved here.
Early out in the clean and jerk, you saw it clean on the fingertips. Nice, solid, direct to straight arms jerk. Fairly humble weight. I mean, 1 kilo over what we just saw snatch, to put it in perspective.
Peter Nash, good mark at the halfway stage of the competition. Again, another man who's produced a personal best in the snatch phase. And that takes him up to 2nd place overall. Just worth mentioning, I think, our German lifter again, Almir Velagic, who actually clean and jerked 228 kilos. So we're away from that, and gave himself a total of 411 to delight Frank Mantek, the head coach of the German team. That was a job that he did, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of joy. I mean, so much bad luck, really, you know, coming down the home stretch for the Germans. But, you know, they never stopped trying. And look, their fortunes turned on a dime here. Don't count the Germans out next year. This guy impressed us with his snatches.
So again, this would put him up into silver medal in the total. 411 is the top score at the moment, and that comes from Almere from Germany. So 217 there for Abdel Rahman, Abdel Mohammed, I should say. Just having a look at that. I mean, he's a man who can do 230. I mean, he did 230 in Goyang.
I think some early indications there, David, he might be running into trouble in the jerk later on. Doesn't look that rock solid overhead as far as the arm position goes. So we'll keep an eye on that. Second and third attempt in the jerk. Paul Koffa there in the glasses, the man is the architect of all the success in that part of the world.
Yeah,
in the geography lesson.
Yeah. Well, they've got the Institute of Weightlifting in New Caledonia. And of course, a man who first, I guess, came to note in Nauru. Very ambitious, Paul. And particularly in the early part of his career, he was often trying to, well, he actually tried to get the World Championships to go to Nauru, which was a bit, I think, over-ambitious, and there and various other islands. But, you know, you might think one day, for example, it might come there.
Yeah, well, he won the bid, and then, right, they had to forgo the championship.
Logistically, it was never going to happen.
Yeah, we could fly in, I think, on Tuesdays and Thursdays or something like that, landing on the one paved road. But
the reality was that, you know, even in terms of medical facilities, nothing existed to the requirements that are necessary for a championship of this scale and this size. Now, Detinamu, back to the lifting here. The Commonwealth Games silver medalist. Won 180 kilos from the first half of the competition, so he's a long way down. But that lifts him up, early days, but it lifts him up into the bronze medal position in the clean and jerk. 222.
We continue with 222 kilos this time. A first attempt for Yun from Korea.
And Yong Kwon. The lighter of the two Koreans, arguably to date the most or the more successful of the two. First attempt. Well, that was not what I expected, Randy.
Now dumps the clean on the way up. see if he was having trouble standing up or if it just wasn't racked in a solid position. Here goes, gets under it. Elbows are down quite a bit. You want the elbows up high. It helps to lodge the bar firmly on your chest as you're standing up. Got to really whip the elbows around. It's almost as if you're trying to break a bar. If you imagine that, the way you break a pencil with two hands.
So Germany lead the clean and jerk at the moment. Now, Oleg Proshak.
Oh. Not even close on the jerk. You know, if we see this in instant replay, you'll see what I meant about the high elbows. You'll see his elbow position on the clean when he racks the bar, as opposed to the prior attempt, but then disintegrates, unfortunately, on the jerk. Bar has to be driven to fully extended arms, and they have to stay in that straight position.
One or two men running into trouble rather earlier than we anticipated here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You know, we're doing well here, though, tonight as far as good lifts. Some of the same characteristics there, David. He's going to rack the bar. Elbows are going to be down. This time he's going to be able to hang on to it. Nice, solid jerk, though, as far as getting the bar overhead. Watch the elbows now. Stay down pretty low. See that makes the bar sort of insecure as he's leaning forward, standing up. Watch the jerk, though. Right to straight arms. Good. Works a little bit. Returning. Good left.
So, An Yong Kwon leads the overall championship at the moment with 418 kilos. And 223, where Chemechko, the silver medalist from the first half of the competition, proposed to come in. And remember, this is the man who's 14 kilos down on the Iranian who set the new world record in the snatch, Bedad Salimi.
Even before the miss, I was going to say, it wouldn't take a crystal ball to predict that that deficit's very unlikely to shrink in this phase of the competition.
No, but that could be a bit of a costly failure in his quest to hang on to silver medal position.
Yeah.
Because although he got 200, failing there now allows one or two people to maybe close up on him and start to close the deficit they had, not least of all the other Iranian.
Absolutely. He's got to be looking at his rearview mirror.
Peter Nash, second attempt, 223. New personal best.
Good lift, nice place to do it, huh?
He's lifting really well this evening, and he's just showing that, you know, it was not a flash in the pan in at all in Shenzhen with the Universiade.
Some people are good competitors. Being pushed just brings out the best in them. They don't crumble, and other people can do better in the gym, no pressure, and put them under a big light or someone chasing them, they fall apart. He's someone who responds well to competition.
So Chemechko comes out again for this second attempt. that was important.
Yeah,
Really important.
Shaky but good. And shaky not in the sense of breaking any technical rules, but not absolutely rock solid looking overhead. But the critical thing is good left.
And that puts Shemechko, of course, into overall first place at the moment with 4:23. And it looks, Randy, as if he, well, I'm not sure he's going to follow himself. At the moment, that's the proposal.
I think the Egyptian guy will come out.
Yeah, 2:25.
Still behind where we were in at the top of the B session. Says something about the quality of the B session.
Yeah, 2:28, that leading clean and jerk.
Still holding up, early part of the A session.
Yeah, the total doesn't hold up, though, for Almir because of the snatch of 4:11. That's not to in any way decry what he did.
Right.
So 2:25 for a second attempt for Abdel Rahman Mohammed.
There's a left arm, I think, that really got him in trouble in the jerk. It just wasn't quite driven to full extension. Couldn't hold the weight. It might have been able to get it overhead with some press out, you know, which would have resulted in a failed lift in any event, but no left.
So it'll be the other Ukrainian in a moment.
You can see weights in this range are really sorting out we'll call it the second half rather than the lower half of this category. And then we'll remember the top two competitors are opening in the low 240s.
Shemechko. Now Proshek. Got 2:15. Failed 2:22. Well, that's pretty good.
That's kind of nice. I was just going to say the house lights foretold what the referees can do. Notice they turn the lights on, which are all white, and then the referees give the lifter 3 white lights.
Yeah, that's 4:15, and that's 13 kilos up on what he did in the Universiade. So that's good progress. He's currently gone 3rd overall in the clean and jerk. Sorry, 3rd overall and 3rd in the clean and jerk. And being the light man in the class, even if the Egyptian who is about to follow him comes in now, he can't overtake him because body weight will keep him right now, because it's going to change, because Peter Nash is going to come in. Peter Nash. Peter Nash at the moment on 4:15, and this is interesting. 3 kilo increase, 4:18 this would give him, and would move him up to bronze in both the clean and jerk and the total. 4:15 represents a 3 kilo improvement on his Universiade performance. So although these men are a long way off the man we expect to win this, there is progress being made here. Oh, what a pity.
Yeah, there was a study in what happens when you do not get the arms fully extended on the jerk, and then you can watch in slow motion as they just continue to bend more and the weight will come crashing down. Watch the jerk, watch the right arm, doesn't go to full extension, and that's it. That's all she wrote.
And Abdelrahman comes out for the third and final attempt. It's got 217. This is a 9-kilo increase.
We'll get a big celebration, I think, if he's successful.
So this for 416 to go once again, if he can, into bronze medal, both in the clean and jerk and the total. Just working our way through the numbers, really, until we get to our Iranian competitors, in a sense. But we can't forget the bronze medal, because Shemechko is still potentially vulnerable, although he does have 423. So at the end of it, he ends on 407 with only 50% of his lifts. I'm very interested to see the Russian Man Mountain, who's due to come in at 232, along with Yongsan Kwen of Korea, and the Armenian Aleksanyan at 240. So here's the man who's already got a bronze medal, and it's Sajjad Anushiravani for Iran, bringing forward 198 kilos, and now trying to add 228 to it. This is for a 426 total. So secures that total and is now just a kilo short of what he lifted in the Asian Games when he got the bronze medal. So a bit of relief.
Footwork looked a little awkward to me in the jerk. Let's watch to see if we'll pick up the feet in slow motion. There's the clean. Watch the feet. Yeah, see, rear foot goes flat, should be up on the ball. It's sort of a little bit of a splot, sort of a combination, like, you know, split squat. But most important thing is you got the bar overhead.
Now, Detan Namo is one of those players in this particular competition who isn't going to trouble the overall medal podium, but just might be thinking of, can I have a great day in the clean and jerk? And that would also apply to Aleksanyan of Armenia when he starts. Remember, he was the man who opted out of his third snatch attempt. But this is the man from Nauru. So he makes 228. You know, the big thing about the institute that Paul Coffer has actually created in New Caledonia is the fact that now there's a barometer for everybody in the South Pacific to work with and work to. You know, before it was a lot of isolated activity, but, you know, he is actually pulling the whole of that region together. You know, I regularly get, you know, reports, updates, information about what's going on in the South Pacific, you know, from Paul. You know, he's really industrious.
Well, he's absolutely a magnet in that part of the world, and he's dynamic. He's always on the move, building something new, as you say, communicating with the weightlifting world, holding large events in that part of the world, recruiting lifters.
Now the bar going to 230 for Igor Shemechko. So Shemechko, who at the moment lies in second place overall. Well, he's going to be kicking himself now, isn't he, that he missed the first attempt.
Yeah. So, but, grateful, I think, for what he got. Appreciate the crowd support.
Goes to 4:30 and has the lead in the competition. But now, whatever happens, his destiny is in the hands of others. Just looking at that performance of Igor's 4:30, I mean, compare that to the Europeans in Kazan, and that's 18 kilos more. He failed to total in the World Championships last year. He was the bronze medalist in Goyang on 4:27. So you've got to say, despite that first clean and jerk failure and his last snatch attempt failure, that is an improved performance.
He's got the ship pointed in the right direction at the right moment.
He has done more than 4:30 in the past. 4:33 when winning the Europeans. Now, this is very obviously this man's forte.
Very quick set on that jerk.
2:32 and Yun.
Don't take your eyes off him now. Well, it seemed a lot faster. Still pretty quick in slow motion. Gets set, dip strides, pounds that thing.
And big Russian has pushed the bar to 2:33 for his first attempt. As Detonamo comes in for Nauru, 44 seconds in which to try to get this lift. 2:32. Now this is way up on what he did in the Commonwealth Games. Just to put some perspective about the improvement this man is making. 2:18 in Delhi. End of October, beginning of November last year. So literally about a year away and 14 kilos of improvement, if he gets it. This would take him to 4:12. Really has to struggle with the clean, but he's just about got it there. Oh no. Just buckled under the weight. But it was a good attempt there by Detonamo, who's much more suited to the second phase. And in fact finishes on 4:08, which is 11 kilos up on his Commonwealth Games performance nonetheless. Well, here's a man going for 425 kilos. Only 1 out of 3 efforts made in the first half now. Is the clean and jerk really going to suit him here? This is Chingiz Mogushkov, and he's got this weight. I think he might get found out there by the referees on that left arm. Let's see what they say. 2-1 against. Interesting to see whether the jury move on this. And the jury are having a consultation about this. This is not the best angle to have a look, and this is better. Ooh. I would say, and it's a no lift. He gets a red light there. So again, an inauspicious start to the second half of the competition. Some of the crowd don't like it, but the referees and the jury are there not to interpret, but to simply enforce the rules. So, Sajad Anushiravani of Iran, 2:33, second attempt. 31, and he goes a kilo ahead of Shemechko and takes the lead in the clean and jerk and the total. So he's really beginning to come alive here. That 233 is a new personal best for him. Although we know back in Tehran he has done 240. And now Chingic Mugoshkov of Russia now has to try and come and make amends. This is the same pathway that he experienced in the snatch phase. He didn't get the second snatch attempt. No, well, there's a lot of movement on the left arm there, but a lot of shaking. He might get away. Yeah, he has got away with it. It was more shaking than a press out, and he's been given that lift. So he gets a total for 26. Or is it 425? I think it's 425 actually. For yeah, 425. So suddenly he becomes something of a player, the Russian, but of course he's only got one more attempt left here. Goes ahead of Yong-Sang-Gwen of Korea. And where's the bar going now? 241 will be the opening weight at the moment for Bedad Salimi, the leader at the halfway stage. 240 for Rubin Alex-Sanyan of Armenia. And it's going to be... No, it's going to be the opening weight for Rubin Aleksanyan of Armenia, the man who only took 2 attempts in the snatch phase. So he's coming from a way back 10th place at the halfway stage with 185. So 185 plus the 240 here to put him straight 425, and this would put him into the lead in the clean and jerk and would zoom him up actually from 10th into 3rd overall. So a really important opener. Aleksanyan, the junior world champion last season. And a man who, at the height of his powers, can certainly do 430 and more. $20 seconds now. Good clean. Strong overhead. Oh, he's running out of platform. He's over the platform. It's going to be, I'm afraid, no lift. His foot came off the platform. The bar is off the platform, and it's a no lift. He looks a bit bemused, but his left foot was off the 4-meter square platform, and that automatically, before he dropped the bar, which has to be put down on the platform. And again, you'll see quite a lot of the time lifters who are uncertain and think they have to take some paces forward. If he, there you can see it, foot off. He could have rolled that bar back and attempted to do the lift from further back on the platform. So suddenly under pressure. Iran lead at the moment. Ukraine second. It's Anush Yeravani who has the gold medal positions in clean and jerk and total over them all. Shemechko in second place overall, third in the bronze. Yong-Sang-Gwen of Korea in second place in the clean and jerk, third overall. So this story, this chess game, yet to be determined here. There are quite a few twists and turns that could happen. And the new world record holder in the snatch yet to start. So Rubin Alex Yun, who has to follow himself. He's been a pretty consistent performer. Just ran into trouble in terms of fitness and condition and preparation after the Junior Worlds last season. So we haven't really seen anything of him in 2011. And he's got 45 seconds. He'll dive down onto this bar and then move pretty quickly. This for 425. To go into the clean and jerk lead. Well, he's really going to need a third attempt if he's to save the total. Just didn't seem totally convinced. Let's have a look at the second phase, the jerk here. Yeah, you see that bar was really in front of him. He never really got into position, and his hips were behind there. And so Mogushkov now coming out to take a 7-kilo increase. He's sitting on 425 at the moment, so this is for 432, and the overall lead in both the total and the clean and jerk. This would actually take him ahead of the Sajjad Anushiravani. I was going to say the number 2 Iranian, but that would perhaps be a little unkind, although it's probably the way it's going to work out. He's rocked back there. He's very lucky to have saved that. Well, he's fighting for it. Needs to bring that left foot. He's bringing the right one back to be in line. Very strong overhead. An explosion of power and emotion. 432, but that's only 3 out of 6. It's a 50% percentage. And those failures, how costly are they going to be? David Riggott there to quite sure what's up with him at the moment. Just that thigh might have just sort of seized up. Have a look at this. Gets it onto the shoulder, then rocks back, and the noise you can hear behind me is for the Armenia, who've just had probably the worst week I can remember in recent years. Misfortune with Hripsimi Khoshidyan with a potentially dislocated elbow from the women's super heavyweights earlier in the afternoon, and they just had no fortune whatsoever throughout the whole of the championships. This is 240. Third attempt. No. And he's left without a total, I'm afraid. Sad. And as I said a moment ago, I just can't remember a worse week over the last 5 years for the Armenians. And the worst possible time, this being an Olympic qualifying event. A huge cheer for the new snatch world record holder. This is Badad Sanimi. In his early 20s, 21, 22 years of age, and coming out to open up on 241 to consolidate his position, bringing forward 214. So this for 455. The world record total actually is 472. Clean and jerk record 263. So we're some way off that. This man who did a 473 in the training in Tehran did a 256 in the clean and jerk. How easy is this? 3 white lights, and moves up now to 455. That is just 3 kilos short of what he did in the Asian Championships earlier this year, and 2 kilos more than he did in winning the world title last season. Now Yun of Korea, who's much more suited to this clean and jerk phase. This is his second attempt at 241, which would put him into first place in the clean and jerk by virtue of lighter body weight than the Iranian, who just lifted, and second place overall. So this would go ahead of the Russian. And this is his forte. So now the third and final attempt now for Sajjad Anushirabani for Iran. Now he had 233 at his last attempt. Now this is an 8-kilo increase to take him to 439. And 439 will put him up into second place behind his teammate, but it will put him into the lead in the clean and jerk. He produces a new personal best, 241 kilos, asked and answered. So goes to 439 kilos, goes up from 4th overall into 2nd place overall, but leads the clean and jerk. And the bar is going to 250 kilos. Anyong Kwon of Korea not taking his third attempt. There is one other attempt that's out there other than Salimi, I should say, and that is Yon San Gwen, who is posting 255 for his final attempt on the clean and jerk. So this is fascinating stuff. But it is Bedad Salimi to go first on 250. Now he's sitting on 455. This is a 9-kilo increase, and this would take him to 464 kilos. 464 kilos, and that would put him, what, 6-7 kilos off winning or taking or having a go at least at the overall world record. But first of all, he's got to lift this. He only gets that close if he makes this. 250. 250 in Tehran. 250 in the Asian Championships. It's possible. Amazingly good, clean. Conserves energy with that efficiency. Chucks it overhead. Brings that left foot forward. Holds it. Very confident. So suddenly from 455 to 464. and completely commanding and dominating this. He won the title last year with 4:53, so you get a measure of the progress. Anyong Kwan, who won this in 2009, 4:45. Matthias Steiner, who won the Olympic title with 4:61. Victor Skebartis, who won it in 2007, 4:42. Hossein Rezazadeh, who won this in 2006 with 4:48 and won it in 2005 in Doha with 4:61. He won the Athens title with 4:72.5, the great Hossein Rezazadeh, the same weight, in fact, that he produced in 2002. He won, Hossein Rezazadeh, the Olympic title in Sydney with 4:27. 4:72.5. So this is a remarkable lifter that you're watching now, and the bar at 2:55 now for the Korean. Well, this is Yong Sang-gwen trying to go up with his final attempt into first place in the clean and jerk and second overall. He's currently safe in third place in both of those, but of course he would overtake the other Korean, who's currently in second overall and second in the clean and jerk if he does this. The Iranians who are looking for a 1-2, and they might still get it. It all depends on this lift. In fact, 254 kilos, just modified it a bit. Well, we've never seen him do this. We have never seen him do this. Whatever happens, this Korean, Yong Sang-gwen, 30 years of age, posted a total of 4:35. And what he's been doing in the clean and jerk has been excellent. Now, can he pick this off and finish up a fine series? Tough clean. Oh no, what a pity. Not a million miles away and not on this day, but he stays in overall bronze and clean and jerk bronze, and that means that the Iranians have got the silver medal and they've got the gold. They've got a 1-2.
260 kilos, 32.
And 10 kilos going on. He has 464 kilos. I'm referring to Bedad Salimi. If he takes 10 kilos more, it would take him to 474 kilos, which would be a new senior and junior total overall world record, his second world record of the afternoon. From 250 to 260. Well, this is no easy mark. We're told that he clean and jerk 256 in Tehran in the training hall, but this is huge. This is only 3 kilos behind Hossein Rezazadeh's clean and jerk record from Athens 2004. Last lift of the whole championships. Can he clean it? No. A bar too far, but take nothing away from this man who has defended his title and has moved from 453 kilos last year to 464 kilos this year. And for Iran, it's 1-2, gold and silver in the men's super heavyweight class, with the overall bronze going to Yong-Sang-Gwen of Korea, with Mogushkov of Russia finishing overall 4th, ahead of Igor Shemeshko of the Ukraine in 5th place. This is the one that the Iranian fans came for, and their 2 young men have not let them down. And when I say young, I mean young, because in the case of the overall champion, in his early 20s, the other man, Sajjad Anush Iravani, 27 years of age, but a perfect end to the quest for Iran to get the key medals. Well, there on the screen there, that's the clean and jerk confirmation, 250, and there Anusha Raviani getting 241, and for him 5 out of 6 also. So a terrific effort, and a great effort from Yong-Sang-Gwen there to pull himself up into overall bronze. And Chingiz Mogushkov, the heaviest man in the class, well, only 50% of his lifts. Had he actually got more kilos in the snatch, who knows? You can see he's only a kilo off the clean and jerk there from getting a medal, and Shemechko in 5th place. And Aleksanyan, sadly, no total, and championships for the Armenians to absolutely forget. They've got to put that right out of their minds and somehow come back and rebuild. But for Iran, what a finale. Randy, well, he didn't get the overall world record, but he got the snatch world record. That was terrific, and much more to come as we see the final total there. Look at the margin of victory there. That is, what, 25 kilos of advantage. Yon 433, just a kilo ahead of Mogushkov, who wasn't very elegant and not particularly effective, but he somehow pulled himself up into overall 4th. Shemechko in 5th, and then the other Korean ahead of, you can see, Almir Velagic of Germany, excellent from the B group into 9th place. Well, that's it from Randy Strossen and myself, David Goldstrom. Quick last word, Randy.
It's going to be a horse race going into London, David.
Well, I hope that you've enjoyed being with us for the past week at the championships. Thanks ever so much for watching. From Randy Strossen of Iron Mind and myself, David Goldstrom, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Europeans, they come up in April. Then we go to London for the Olympics. For now, though, bye-bye from Disneyland in France.